All right, guys, welcome back. Welcome back to the Pleasure Dome. Welcome back to Project What TF. And we've got some serious work ahead of us this time, guys. We've got to put a new head gasket on this car because we've got some contamination of the oil in this one. So on one hand, we've got the elastomer gasket, and on the other hand, we've got the multi-layer steel gasket, the fixture of all gasket problems. But we don't know which one we're going to fit yet until we get this head off. So let's get on with that. Let's get this head off and see what we need to do. My name's Craig, and I'm exhausted. Let's do this. Right, so I've kind of been putting off the inevitable. So in my first video, we talked about the oil that I took out of this, how creamy and mayo-y that was. It looked like coffee, to be honest. And I was hoping that was going to be because this car's been sat around and hardly any miles over the past 5 years. So condensation, a lot of talk about condensation on the forums and when I posted it on Facebook, etc., etc. So I changed the oil, did a good flush, and I've been keeping an eye on that coolant. That coolant's been going down about 1 millimetre per mile, so slowly ebbing away. I was hoping it was going to be the fact it was rebaselining the system after I'd done the water pump change, but to no avail. Also changed the coolant cap to see if that helped. That didn't help. I've been keeping an eye on the oil. It's been okay till now, but it's just started to show those signs of mayo creeping in. So I think it's inevitable, isn't it? Loss of coolant, mayo in the oil. I'll show you that. And then that indicates we've got a head gasket problem. Now, this car was sold by Trophy Cars 10 years ago, and I've got a head gasket certificate. The head gasket, water pump, cam belt were all changed on this car in September 2014, 10 years ago, 2,000 miles ago. So it's not really done any miles since. So what's happened in that time? So, don't know. Has there been an overheating problem? Can't see any new bits of pipe. It's got this has got the stainless steel pipes that run to the radiator at the front, but they don't look brand new. But it was 10 years ago, so you never know. But can't see anything obvious in terms of leakage, which could lead to overheating. This hasn't been a major issue. It's not like I'm overheating and I've got massive losses of coolant. So it's obviously only seeping. If it is seeping at all, we'll find out when we get in there. So my thinking is that they fitted an MLS gasket to this, and maybe the liners aren't at the right height for that. So we'll get in there, we'll have a look at those liners and see what height they're at. So just to be clear, guys, if you've got a MLS gasket, I'm not opening the bag because I'm going to send one of these back, then your liners need to be higher than the deck of the block. I think it's 4 thou higher than the deck of the block, at least, to enable you to get a good seal from this multi-layer steel gasket. Else, you're going to have to go to an old style, uprated version of the elastomer gasket, which is an OEM style gasket. So not sure which one I'm going to fit yet, but I've got both. So I'll get this show on the road and get this job done as quickly as I can. So, right, let's crack on. What we're going to do, we're going to drain the coolant. We're going to take the exhaust manifold off. Going to take the cam belt off. Done that before, not taking it off, just getting it out of the way. And then more complicated bit is all the inlet stuff because there's a lot going on at the back end of the engine here. So let's crack on. Going to get the exhaust manifold off first, and yeah, let's go from there. Right, guys, this is difficult to see because the camera zoom, but this is the dipstick. Hope you can see that. Right, so the first thing I'm going to do is drain this coolant on down here. I'm going to take one of these off. This is going to be tricky to get off. Try not to rip it. Okay. Oh, it's starting to leak. That's good. Not sure my bucket's big enough, but it is what it is. Right, looks like a neat way of doing that while I'm looking at the cam belt pulley at this end. Oh. Right, so while that coolant's draining, what we're going to do now is just take the cam cover off because we need to time the engine. So when we take the head off and put it back together, we know where the cams are in relation to the pulley at the bottom. So this won't take too long. We've been here before, guys. This whole job's just a bit fiddly. Take a lot of things off. Take the head off. Put a new gasket on. Put a lot of things back on. Obviously, the age of these nuts and bolts and the fact that they've not been removed for a long time, although this was removed about 10 years ago, Doesn't give me concern, but we'll cross those bridges when we get to it, yeah? Let's go back in there with that. Oh, great. It's falling down there. Right, we need to get that wheel off so we can get to the bolts at the bottom. We need to get it off anyway, don't we? So we can turn the pulley. Let's do it. Boom. Then we need to set this cover off. I've got cable tie one side and a screw it the other. It's a bit fiddly, but it will bend and move out of the way. Good. As it turned out, there wasn't another bolt down there, but we've got that out. Okay. So now what we're trying to do here is turn the bottom pulley to align these exhaust and inlet pulleys, so we can time it. Right, so the first thing you've got to do is take this pulley off, okay? If you've got an impact gun, it should fetch it off. If you haven't got an impact gun and you have to use a wrench or a breaker bar, make sure you put it in gear to stop the engine turning, but this should take this off. Oh my God. Ah, come on. I could do without this problem. So this long bar is going to be taking out energy, so I'm going to try a shorter one, see if that helps. I might have to charge my impact gun. But... Nice. I can't get that off tonight. So this is on its last bar battery, so I'm going to charge this overnight to get some juice in it. In the meantime, we'll take the what do you call it off? The exhaust manifold off. I mean, there's no point forcing it, trying more things or breaking it. I'll just come back to it tomorrow. I've got plenty of time. So we've got to take the heat shield off. So I think that's 10mm, 13. So we'll get that off. Maybe a 9. No, what's going on? Not the best of 10s, but a 10. Remember, guys, as you take bits and bobs off, keep them all together. You've got to put this all back together at some point. You don't want to lose little bits, so just get them together. Put that in the footwell out of the way, and then we have, what do we have? Reasonable access, actually. I think we've got these 13s down here. Let's just clear it. Let's have a tidy up. Oh, I'm not sure you guys can see. Right, then under here, on the exhaust manifold, you've got 5 of these. I think they're 15mm. I think there's 3 on the top and 2 underneath, so we need to get those off. And they're going to be tricky, but they're big enough to be okay, I think. Right, let's get these in then. See if we can get these bad boys off. Right. Oh, okay. Oh, crikey. Yeah. That's that one. First one cracked off. Well, yeah, I expected that. So, because, oh my God, I can't get it out. Because these rust on the outside, see it clean on this side, they just come out the block. It's not too bad, we'll deal with that later. Okay, yeah. Again, same thing. You just here. I mean, the best thing to do is make sure you're on the nut properly, because you don't want to slip off and round it off. Oh, that's easy. Number 3's come out, and I think that must be some kind of heat shield or something. Keep the heat away from the head gasket. What am I talking about? To keep the heat away from the cam belt. Right, now we've got the 2 underneath. It gets more tricky because I'm on the extension bar. Right, it's difficult. Right, so my extension bar is too long, it's pivoting. So what you can do here now, guys, is that if you've got them, which I have, which is good, you can just use one that goes to big, one that goes to small, and then use that. There's a little smaller extension bar. Cool. Hopefully, with that bad boy in place. Yep, undo that. Bit stiffer. And then last but not least is under here. Right, lovely jubbly. It's off and it's out of the way. Okay, so it's when it bolts to the flexi down here, I think it's just going to sit on the cross member, so that should be fine. Sat just there. Right, then I've got this pipe here, this water pipe that goes into the head. So we've got the water pipe, and there's another one around the side, and then there's a sensor, a temperature sensor. So I could take all those little bits off, or you can just take this mount off the head. I think it's just two 8mm bolts, so it's easy. Just take that mount off, and the whole thing will come away. Keep it all in situ, can't you? Right, we're off. Right, that's free. Good stuff. Right, let's quickly take this cover off. Okay, pops that off. Right, then in here again, 8mm on the core packs. Right, then these pop out. So we're going to have to be unclipped from the cover here carefully. Okay, and they come out, pop out, and then they unclip like that. Now it's best to put them back where they came from. So I'll put them in the car like that, so I know exactly where they come from. Okay, and that needs to come off. That's coming off quite nicely. Clip it there. A few more clips, and that should be tucked out of the way now. I need to probably get out of the way tomorrow. I'm going to take all this stuff off, but I need to make sure things are out of the way so they don't get damaged when you're taking bits off. Okay, then we've got a fair few number 8 to get out. Let's loosen them all off. Right, okay, cool, all loose. Let's get them all out now. Right, this is where this kind of power wrench really comes in handy, because if you're doing this by hand, it's going to take a lot longer. That's worth checking. They're all the same length before you start mixing them up. Which I think cool, yeah. Right, then that's loose. We've got a few breather hoses to get off as well. If you've got some hose clamp pliers like this, brilliant. But if not, then just use some pliers, or your fingers, but it can be painful. These are great because they've got like this ratchet on them where you push it and it clicks and it kind of holds it in place for you while you move it and you release it. Wicked. Right, and then we're just going to use a screwdriver to help get these pipes off. Remember, we're not here to tear things, we've got to fit all this back, so no damage, please. Right, okay, then that comes off. What's it looking like in there? Looks alright in there. I'm not seeing a massive amount of mayo or anything. So this is going to get replaced. Yeah, looks alright. Can't see any significant mayo. We're here now. Alright then guys, after a bit of charge and a bit of perseverance, got that pulley off. So what you need to do now, screw this back in. Yeah. Okay. Now that's back in, what I need to do is turn this so those two dots are pointing towards that line there. Well, tell you what guys, I was being a bit of an idiot there. So I was looking at these kind of imprints there, thinking that's my timing mark. That's not. That's just a make mark, I think, for the pulley. There's two dots, you can see them just there, one on that tooth, one on that tooth. Those are the ones you've got to point up to this service line. Right, over here, you've got top dead center, and then obviously your advance, you can use all that to set your timing, etc., etc. More important when you've got a distributor as opposed to electronic ignition, which this one's got. So now this is important that this is at the service mark, not at top dead center, because at the service mark, your pistons are all at half height. Okay, so when you're taking the head off, or you're undoing the belt, or you're moving the valves and the pulleys are starting to move at the top, you're not rotating the cams and potentially having the valves hit the pistons. So got to be on the service line. And then in here, can't see it very well, sorry, there's a mark on that pulley and the mark on that pulley, and they're supposed to point towards each other. Okay, right, that's magic. So now I've done that, we can release the tensioner down here and then take the belt off and then get these pulleys off. There, just see it there with my end of my finger, that is an 8mm, I think it's 8, and that allows the tensioner to move and be tightened up. And then that in there is a 8mm Allen key. So you need to undo that one and then undo that one. I mean, the reason you've got two is this holds it in place and that holds it in place when you tighten that. So when you're fitting it, what you do is you put the tension on, tighten that one, and then when you tighten that clockwise, it doesn't loosen it, because if you don't tighten that one first, what happens is you try to tighten it and that just turns itself and you end up going backwards and forwards. So you have to tighten that one first. So we'll undo that one first and undo that one. Yeah, that's quite difficult. So I had to loosen the nut from underneath, then we'll loosen the Allen bit. So with an Allen key, I couldn't get enough purchase on it. So what I did is I just cut the bit off, put it into an 8mm socket onto my wrench. It just drops out and you get some more purchase. Right, that's it. Bollocks. Oh my god. Can you focus on that? That's not good, is it? Oh no. Wow, how tight is that in there? Right, try that again then. Hopefully this time. It's tight. It was tight last time I did it. Makes me nervous. I meant to undo that. If it shears off, I'm in a bad way. I was nervous last time with a cam belt. I think what I can do here is I can do this without undoing that tensioner, I think. So I'm not changing it. So I take the pulleys off themselves, bring those out, and I can put the pulleys back on, slot it all back together afterwards. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do that. I'm just going to get some paint now and start marking this up, mark up the belt, mark up the pulleys against the block, mark up the bottom pulley, the belt, so it all goes back together the same. And I can do that without undoing the tensioner because I'm taking the pulleys off anyway. That'll work. If I was changing the tensioner because it wasn't new, I'd be worried about it. I'd be trying to get it off because I'm not having to change the tensioner. I mean, I'll just leave that on because I just don't want to shear it. Right, okay. Slight change of tactic. We are all marked up. So mark the middle of the belt, marked on that pulley, belt to pulley, belt to housing, etc., etc. And down here as well. Right, if I just undo that, I think that's a 17mm. If I just try to undo that, it's going to turn the pulley. So I've got to jam my pry bar in here. These are quite strong, these pulleys. So put my pry bar in there and then undo it. Okay. Pry bar out. And then we do the same to the other side. Right, then it's hard to see the sun. I'm not complaining, mind, but yeah. So they're loose. I've just had to retime it. So we'll take the bolts out, we'll pull the pulleys off, and we can move the belt out of the way. But I'm trying to, everything's paint's dry, so I'm trying to be careful. And now we can take these pulleys off. So put the pry bar behind, gently. There we are, it's one off. Right, let's grab him before he falls. Watch out for the paint. That's the inlet one off. And these are keyed as well, so that'll go straight back on when it came off. Get the same bolt in there. And then we've got the exhaust one. Cool. Right, they're off. And then I've got sufficient room just to bend that out of the way to lift the head off. Right. Exhaust manifold done. Cooling pipe done. That done. This done. Now we've got to work on this mess. I'm not looking forward to this bit. Probably starting to get some video of this. A black plug, brown plug, blue plug. Right, okay. Yellow plug. That thing there, whatever that is. That random pipe can come out of the way. That's kind of that breather. That can just tuck up there out of the way. It's going to unclip from there, that yellow one. Can't even show you. And these plugs have this like bloody some metal tang. You've got to pull the metal bit out that way, then it'll pop off. So get your screwdriver in. Oh, lost the metal bit. We'll find that later. That's 3 of them off. So that. And this thing here. All over there out of the way. Okay, that's a bit cleaner, isn't it? Right, I need to get in here now and start taking things off. So it's all a bit high, so I need to just drop the car back to the ground so I can get into it. Right, so access is pretty tight here, so I'm going to take these braces off. Put those in the boot. Then we're going to take off the cable for the accelerator. Comes out this housing here, look, pull that out. And then I assume it just tucks out some weight because you can just see the other end of it there. So I've just got to feed it round. Okay, there we are. So you go all the way around and then it floats out backwards. That's off. Okay, just got to get the inlet off. Throttle body and the inlet manifold off. Not the air intake bit. And then get to the manifold injectors and the manifold that bolts to the engine. That's the plan. Okay, so that's off. There's a pipe that side, but that connects to itself. That pipe clipped on there. Go and clip that. There's a sensor there. I'm assuming it's a throttle position sensor. Yeah. Throttle position sensor. That needs to come off. So again, just gently unclip that. And pop it off. I might put that back on with that so I don't lose it. Right, another pipe here. I assume it's a breather pipe or something. That's just going to come out and tuck out of the way. There's another sensor. That one's out. Okay. Again. Right, there might be another pipe here, but there's definitely one there. I'm not sure what that is. A little pipe there. What's that one do? Oh no. Don't know. So I'm just going to undo these bolts here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They look like 10 millimeters. So just undo these bolts here. There's a bolt there, look, you can just see it. Can you see it? Where the filler cap attaches. So I'm just taking that one out. I'd get a ratchet spanner, but my 10mm ratchet spanner's broken, which is typical, isn't it? Oh my god. Oh, it looks loose. That's good news, at least. Right, got it. That's now loose. Right, what is keeping it attached? So, okay. Wow. There's some cableage below. Right, just got that off, so I can get to those cables. You see them under here. That block there is attached to the bottom of the throttle body. Oh, okay, slides off. Right. Got it. Got it, unclipped it. Now that undone, hopefully, if my calculations are correct, we should be able to take this out. Oh, baby. Okay. Fabulous. Real progress now, team. Right then. We are making progress. Right, so now, bloody cobwebs in here. We have got a few more bolts to undo to get this inlet off. So you can see the injectors here, fuel rail. This hard line goes to this flexi, so I should move the flexi here for the return line. So let's undo these. 1, 2, 3. Looks like there's none underneath. Tell me there's none underneath. Oh, there are some underneath. Oh, come on now. It's going to be a pain in the bum, isn't it? Just to put some gloves on. Now, if you're looking for gloves, then these are wicked from Amazon. They obviously rip if you pinch them in things, but generally they're really good in terms of being strong and long lasting. Oh, hang on. Here we go. Okay, we're getting there. Got a wobble bar. The wobble bar might come and do it. Yes! The on the end's okay because I can get to it. I can't see. Can't get to it. Can't see it. I can't see. I can't get my hand in. I'll put some tape on it to try and stop it being so wobbly. I might be able to get it on. I literally just see the corner of that. Seriously, stop wobbling so much. The wibble wobbleness of the wobble bar is wobbling me out. It's loose. There's a bracket underneath here that attached it to the engine, so I need to undo that. That might be 13 again, actually. Wood to 10. Let's try with this then. Again, not sure I'm going to put it back together, but let's come out. Okay. Boom. And it is off. Hell yes. That was tough. Right, my back's aching as well now. Bloody leaning in. Right, so I think that we're clear here. This is where the head. You can see down here. This is where the head sits, and the head gasket's going to be down under there. Okay. There's the tensioner. I didn't take off earlier, so that's got to come out as well with it. Oh, it just started spitting, so I need to get this done. So we're going to take these out then. There are 10 of them. We're going to work from the outside and work our way in. Just loosen them off, okay? You know what? They're all really loose now, so a little bit of slowly extraction. Will it? What happened there? I pulled that up. I've just moved the cams by getting this tool caught under that lobe. Not lobe, there's like a lip, so that might be. Right, so I don't know why they have it, but there's a knob in there on that camshaft, and there's one over here as well. It's directly in line with the head bolt, so that's just craziness. So what I'm going to do is put on the outlet and turn that. I know come on. I know where I need to put it back to because it's all marked up. But put on the outlet pulley and turn it and get that freed up and cleared, and then do the same over there. Okay, let's get that one out. Need to do the same on the other one. Okay. Come on, push them up. There we are. So I got that one. And we got that one out. Let's get those two out of the way. I'll take all these out. I'll get them to empty the glove box, will do. Oh, try not to drop them, seriously. As I say, we're not reusing them, we're putting new ones in. And then last but not least, boom. Fabuloso. So now I should be able to lift that off. Just going to find something to put it on. All right, clear the path, make sure there's no trip hazards. And we should be, gang, good to go. Ready? Okay. Boom. And we've got oil everywhere. Nightmare. And a particularly nasty looking MLS gasket. Alright, let's show you guys what we've got. Yeah, we've got some work to tidy up. We'll get on to that in a minute. There's oil here as well. Yeah, so MLS gasket. Okay, we'll have a look at that in a minute, but it doesn't look too clever, does it? Look at it. Sure what that is. There. All right, guys, so we're going to leave part 1 of this video there. We've done quite a lot today to get this far. Yeah, not been too difficult, and I've been quite detailed, so it's been half an hour, this edit, so which is quite long, but I really want this to be really useful as a DIY guide for you guys and other people moving forward, because I mean, this job's really daunting, but I think when you get into it, it's not actually that complicated. The cam belt, a little bit complicated bit, but I've done that before, so that makes it easier for me. But once you pass that, it's just taking things off and getting ready to put things back on again, which is going to be a bit interesting, particularly those inlet bolts, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. So I hope you enjoyed it so far. Part 1 is done. Part 2 will follow, and I don't know, depends how long part 2 takes. It might even be a part 3, but part 1's done for now. So I'll see you in the next one. My name's Craig, and I'm exhausted. Take care, guys. Cheers.